Two-part and preservation funds, that's what we're talking about today. I want to help you understand how your benefits will be managed, especially with the changes that will begin on the 1st of September 2024. If you're already a member of a preservation fund or considering moving to one, this is information that you need. Hi, my name is Yolanda. I'm a wealth advisor. It is my goal on this platform to give you easy, actionable tips, content, and strategies that you can use to manage money well, to live abundantly, and build generational wealth. I'm the founder of Financially Fabulous Females, and I'm the director of Solomon Wealth, where we help South Africans all over the country, even expat South Africans, get their money right in South Africa. If you need to chat to us one-on-one, click the link where you're watching this video, or visit our website, www.solomonwealth.co.za, and book a complimentary appointment, and we can chat one-on-one. All right, so let's talk about preservation funds and how this two-part system will impact that. So for those of you that are already members of preservation funds, what happens to your benefits? So when you originally transferred money to these preservation funds, there were no pots. So on the 1st of September, these pots are going to be set up, right? Whether you opt in or not, this is going to be set up. There is going to be a group of people that will have the option to opt in. We'll cover that in a different video. But for now, assume that you have no choice. And it doesn't really affect the outcomes of your return of your preservation funds. It's just various segments that will automatically be applied. So as of the 1st of September 2024, everything that you have in the preservation fund will be placed into our vested pot. Here is how it's going to work. So if you are currently in a preservation fund, maybe you're in one, maybe you're in multiple, we'll just assume one for now, whether it's preserver or pension or provident. We'll do a separate video on what happens with the provident, right? So on the 1st of September, this is what's going to happen. Everything will be vested, right? Whatever you have in there will be vested. The next thing that will happen is seeding, right? Depending on the value of what you have vested. For example, if you have over 400,000 in your vested pot, 30,000 Rand will come in or will be seeded into your savings pot. Everything else will be vested. This happens for every one of your preservers if you have more than one. So now you will have both the vested pot and the savings pot within your preservation fund. And you can still take your once-off withdrawal from your vested pot. This withdrawal will be taxed according to your lump sum tax tables, just like before. If you decide to take a partial withdrawal, the remaining funds in your vested pot must stay there until you retire. Now, it's important to remember that your vested pot is everything that you had in your preservation fund as of the 1st of September 2024, minus what has been removed from your savings pot. Now, let's talk about the savings pot. You can take a withdrawal from this pot once every tax year, but it will be taxed at your marginal tax rate if you take it before retirement. So, remember, this is at the withdrawal tax table. This is your marginal tax rate. So taxes are important here, right? It's not one flat tax rate for everything. There's different tax tables that you must understand, and different tax tables apply to the various pots. So you got to think of the savings pot as an opportunity to access your funds in addition to your once-off withdrawal that you can make on preservation funds. Again, we've done a video on why you should withdraw, and we also did a video on why you shouldn't withdraw. If you're confused as to if you should or if you shouldn't, go and watch those two videos. It will give you thinking points that you need to consider when you come to this decision of withdrawal from the savings pot. All right, so this is what's going to happen with your old money or your current money, depending on when you're watching this video, right? But what if you decide to move into preservation after the 1st of September? What happens then? Right, remember we said on the 1st of September, all your pension contributions, so your pension, everything is pension now, by the way, with the retirement reform, 1st of March 2021. Technically, we don't really have provident funds anymore, only old money operators provident funds. So from the 1st of September, your 1/3, 2/3 contribution happens, right? Your 1/3 goes into savings, which you'll be able to access once a year, or when you leave work, you'll have that option. You don't have to access it once a year. You can keep it for when you leave work. And then 2/3 will go into the retirement pot. So let's say it's 20/30, right? You're working, it's 20/30, you haven't touched your savings pot, and you really can't touch your retirement pot. And what should your thinking be at that time in 2030 when you're leaving your work? Right? Remember, wherever you are, and most places, your pension funds are being invested into funds, and very rarely will you have a broad choice as to where the funds are investing. And that's one of the main reasons why you should consider preservation. But how is it preserved? It will be preserved exactly like this. It will be a pot-to-pot transfer. So in 2030, you will come see your advisor, or you don't have an advisor, you'll come see somebody like me and you tell me, hey, I'm leaving work, I have this pension pot, please give me some advice. And the main advice I would give you is, if you don't need these funds, preserve everything. We'll draw up the paperwork for you, show you where your money needs to be and why. You'll agree, or you'll fight with me and say no, and we'll come up with a new plan for you. But a pot-to-pot transfer will happen within the preservation fund. So now you're going from a pension to a preservation, and it will be a pot-to-pot transfer where a savings pot will be set up, a retirement pot will be set up, and it will move that way. And remember, when you move, there's no fees, there's no taxes for preserving. So that's another reason for preserving, is that you're not paying any fees for the move, you're not paying any taxes for the move. Once the preservation is set up, there most likely would be fees applicable. Another reason for preserving would be you get to choose, with the guidance of your financial advisor, will help you come to these conclusions as to what type of funds you need to be in. Right? Remember, at your pension fund, maybe you didn't have a choice. Maybe you are in the default fund, a generic fund where a 60-year-old and a 21-year-old, you're in the same fund, but they're not really meeting your needs. When you preserve on your personal capacity, the pots will be preserved. The preservation will function as usual, where you get to pick, you get to negotiate the fees, you can look for a low fee option, you can maximize your offshore allocation, you can play around within Regulation 28, because this will be in your control. You will still be able to access your savings pot at your marginal tax rate. Your retirement pot you'll only access at retirement. Right. So to recap, if you move your money from your retirement fund, your pension, or your provident fund into the preserver after the 1st of September, it is a pot-to-pot transfer. Your funds will be divided into the various pots in your preservation funds. So if you're somebody who has a preservation fund already, and if you want to transfer new money into the preservation fund, you'll end up with 3 pots within your preservation fund: the vested pot, the savings pot, and the retirement pot. I think the vested pot will go away until maybe 50, 60 years, until a lot of people move through the system, go through the life stages, and eventually all the new people coming into the work system, they'll never have vested pots. And another 2 takeaways here is that if you choose to withdraw from preservation, you're taxed on the withdrawal tables. If you choose to withdraw from your savings within your preservation, you're taxed at your marginal tax rate. Remember, the taxes are different. So it's important to get advice before you take these decisions. Another thing is that your retirement pot must stay in the fund until you retire, while your vested pot is available for that once-off full withdrawal or a partial withdrawal, and will be taxed on that withdrawal lump sum table. So I hope this clarifies how the preservation funds will work pre-September 2024 and post-September 2024. If you need further help, you want advice custom to your unique situation, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help. Click the link where you're watching this video, or go to my website, solomonwealth.co.za, and you can book a complimentary appointment and we can chat one-on-one.